Hello, good morning. Let's have a look at what the astrology is doing. The astro weather for today is Saturday, the 18th of August 2018. And it is an eventful one. It was a quiet one yesterday, but today is seriously eventful because three different things are happening. First of all, the moon is going to hit half full, 50% full, actually about the time I'm doing this, which is 8:48 a.m. UK time. So sorry guys, that took me a little bit longer than I thought, but that is midnight 48 last night. Theoretically, on the Pacific coast of the States and Canada, on the east side 3:48 a.m. and as I say 8:48 a.m. here in UK, and that is really quite a thing in astrology when we get to half moon, because it all kind of seems to be affected by the moon and the moon transitions, which is why I tend to look at moon astrology first and foremost. Basically, as soon as she's over half full, she is lit a lot more by the sun than has been the case during the waning phase and the first quarter, which we're now up to, and going on into the second quarter. So the energy is stronger behind any kind of manifestation thing you want to do, and we will actually feel the effects of astrology more strongly. But the good news there is Mercury retrograde is just about over, right? That's going to happen, let me see, 20:25 tonight, 8:25 tonight PM on the Pacific coast west side, 23:25 PM, that is 35 minutes to midnight east side, and 4:25 AM tomorrow here in UK. We actually come to the point where Mercury stations direct, and that is just about it. It does run on a little bit longer, but this is what we call a post shadow, and it's when things start making sense again. Things can actually be very intense today and tomorrow because it is the direct station and Mercury isn't moving at all, which is kind of super weird really, and it creates strange conditions out there in astrology. But the bottom line is the craziness is coming to an end. We do actually enter the foreshadow to the next Mercury retrograde on the 28th of October though. But there are 4 a year, they're never far away, and they are full of teaching and valuable lessons quite a lot of the time. And then slightly later on today, 17:44 in UK time, the moon is going to enter Sagittarius. So let's take a look at that. That's 9:44 a.m. just as you're getting out of bed on the west side, 12:44 just into the afternoon on the east side, and 17:44 about 5:45 here in UK. We get the Sagittarius moon. Then people's generosity comes up a bit, and if you get a chance to be generous to someone, do it if you possibly can, because that openness, that optimism, that kind of thing is very much supported, and there's a kind of desire to share and to help each other. It's really nice. Sagittarius, it can be difficult in terms of overconfidence. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to keep remaking these because the phone battery dies and then that's the end of it. So yeah, it can result in overconfidence, and the Sagittarian influence can kind of really go for it and don't pull back suddenly. So do be aware of that. Don't commit yourself to anything that's going to be really fast and furious and out there, unless you're really sure, of course, and unless you've been working up to it, in which case, why on earth not? Right, let's have a look at the alignments. The moon right now is square the sun. There's going to be a certain amount of tension, a certain amount of kind of incompatibility that needs to be happening and needs to be dealt with. Incompatibility, basically, imbalance, that's what it's all about. So remember the yin-yang, remember the general balance of nature, and remember, the seasons are, some of the seasons are hot and beautiful, some of them are cold and freezing and not all that nice, but still beautiful in their way, actually. But that is the cycle. There is always a balance for every good thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but perhaps a difficult thing, and occasionally sometimes a bad thing. No getting away from that. Mercury itself, pretty much the star of the show today, coming to the end of retrograde and stationing direct, is actually square Uranus at the moment. So there is still a strong possibility of communication breakdown. That's been the case for quite a while. I think we're used to it, but do watch out for that because it is not quite over on Mercury retrograde. It really isn't, but it's nearly there. Venus is sextile Mercury, artistic, creative expression, that kind of thing, all around the feminine energy at the moment, and a good time for people coming together. Mars is conjunct Pluto, so pressure builds up, tension builds up, there needs to be a release there. It's always good to channel anything of the Mars energy into something constructive. If you're doing a constructive project, all that energy will go into actually doing something constructive. Worth thinking about. Okay, well, I've gone on a bit today, folks, but it is a red letter day in astrology, no doubt about that. Yesterday, I completely forgot to mention Portunalia. Portunus, the Roman god of ports, who's in charge of the harbour at Rome and that kind of thing. That was his festival yesterday, and I mention this because it's the turning of the year. He's associated with protecting crops and grain stores and that kind of thing, among other things, of course. But there we go. When we get to Portunalia, we know that the seasons are moving, and we're in that part of the year where the harvest becomes important. So, folks, whatever you've been doing this year, I hope it bears fruit for you right about now if it hasn't before, and very soon if that doesn't happen. Have a fruitful weekend, my friends. I may be back tomorrow. Depends on the phone battery and a whole lot of other things. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.